In an exclusive interview with NewsNation, Jeff Walz, brother of Democratic VP candidate Tim Walz, says he wants to set the record straight after criticizing his brother Tim on Facebook, saying he's not the type of character who should make decisions about our future and that he's, quote, 100% opposed to all his ideology. Former President Donald Trump quickly pounced, praising Jeff on Truth Social, writing, "Sounds like a really great guy."
I mean, that allegation by Tim Walz's brother would lead one to believe, wow, that's ominous, sounds scary. He must have some real dirt on his brother. And so conservatives are seizing on Tim Walz's frosty relationship with his brother, Jeff, who is in fact a registered Republican and made clear that he disagrees with Tim Walz's political positions. Now, the story blew up after Jeff wrote about Tim, his brother, on his personal Facebook page. Here's what he wrote: "The stories I could tell, not the type of character you want making decisions about your future." The 67-year-old also wrote that he was 100% opposed to all his ideology and had thought about endorsing Trump. By the way, now he says he wants to stay out of politics altogether. You're about to figure out why.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
Obviously, people had questions about that ominous statement. And so people looked into it. Okay, people wanted to know, what are the characteristics that you're referring to here? So let's see what he had to say. Let's see what the dirt was.
He says, "There are no bombshells."
The stories I said I was referencing, I'll give you one example. We talked about it before, that my little brother, when we were younger, we would go on family trips and in a station wagon. And the thing was, nobody wanted to sit with him because he had car sickness and would always throw up on us. That sort of thing. There's really nothing else hidden behind there. People are assuming something else.
It reminds me of Home Alone 1, where Kevin McAllister didn't want to have to sleep next to his younger brother because he kept wetting the bed. But if his younger brother grew up and ended up being an awesome politician who delivered for his constituents, that wouldn't dissuade me from supporting him,
Yeah. So look, I get why you're amused by it, Anna. And after the bombshell of the vomiting in the car when you were a child, I was like, woo. But overall, I hate this story. I hate what they did.
Yeah, same.
So I've seen it everywhere now. The Walz family picture for Trump, and then this post. And you gotta know better than to say that about your family member when he's running for president. They're like, oh, we put it on Facebook. We didn't know that it was gonna go to the whole world. Yeah, that's what happens when your brother is running for vice president of the United States and you make a public statement. How could you not know that, you knucklehead? On the other hand, you're a Trump supporter, so that makes sense. So look.
Can I jump in, Cenk? Yeah. What you said about family and all that, I just really, really want to double down on that. I don't know why this is part of my moral intuition, but I just cannot stand family publicly trashing their family members, especially if it's in the context of trashing a family member who's a public figure, whether they're doing it for clout, whether they're doing it for their own personal therapy. I don't care what it is. You got issues with your family member, take it up with your family member privately, okay? Don't be a giant ass and trash your family member publicly. To me, and I know everyone has their different views on this, so it is what it is. If you disagree with me, I don't care. But for me, that shows a level of a lack of moral character that disgusts me and makes me not trust you at all. But continue.
Yeah, and as usual, we're principled on this. So you guys might have seen me talking about, I don't really care what RFK Jr.'s family members have to say about him. Why would I care? They're the Kennedys. But wait, under that logic, shouldn't you support RFK Jr.? Because he's a Kennedy. And if you say, oh, the fact that he's a Kennedy doesn't matter, which I agree with, then why do the other Kennedys matter? And Mary Trump, she goes out and trashes Donald Trump all the time. The first time she said something, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe she has insight that we don't know about, has some stories, etc. Okay, heard that out, that's fine. And then she goes back on over and over again, and the entire media pretends like she's some sort of expert because she's not even talking about family stuff anymore. She's just dumping on Trump for policy reasons, and everyone's like, oh, Mary Trump said it. And why is Mary Trump relevant? So we've been totally consistent on this on both sides. The part that bothered me about this is when he was like, well, I mean, all our community and neighbors and stuff were asking us, and so we had to make sure that we clarify that we don't agree with this policy. Okay, so you live in a Trump area of Nebraska, and so they put pressure on you. You better be for Trump, and you sold out your family member to appease the people you know. You sound like a real class act.
So there's more to this story. So Jeff Walz stood firm in opposing his brother, Tim Walz, and his political positions, but expressed some regrets about the way he went about it, as he should. So let's hear about that.
It wasn't our intent as a family to put something out there to influence the general public.
Jeff, who is a registered Republican and donated $20 to Trump's 2016 campaign, stands by his comments that he disagrees with his brother.
I will say I don't agree with his policies.
But he says his posts were intended to rebuke rhetoric that he was ideologically in lockstep with the vice presidential nominee.
It was a post that I made because I was getting a lot of feedback from my friends, old acquaintances, thinking that I was feeling the same way that my brother did on the issues. And I was trying to clarify that just to friends. I used Facebook, which wasn't the right platform to do that for.
Okay, but you could just say, hey, me and my brother are on the opposite sides of the political spectrum. Like, why did you have to go out of your way to make it seem like your brother is engaged in some like crazy bad behavior and you wouldn't want him running the country? I mean, it's just ridiculous. And by the way, I don't know if he knows this, but most families contain individuals within said family that have different political views. That is normal. Like, do people think that everyone in the family has to be in lockstep politically? But like, there's a whole meme about that, about Thanksgiving dinners and how awkward they are. Like, what? I just don't understand it. And by the way, like most families, the Walzes don't all have the exact same political leanings, which was made clear by a photo that also went viral after it was shared on X. So take a look at this. These are family members of Tim Walz's. Yes, they're wearing shirts that say Walz's for Trump. And yes, they incorrectly have an apostrophe when it should just be Walz's without the apostrophe. Who cares about that? But the point is, they have a different political view. Trump reposted the photo on Truth Social, and conservatives have been using it to try to attack Tim Walz. But it actually turns out that these are distant family members who barely know Tim Walz. I don't care if they were super close family members. People are allowed to have political disagreements within the same family. That's not a big deal. Tim Walz's mother, Darlene Walz, a lifelong Democrat, told the Daily Beast that family members pictured are mostly second cousins, while Walz's sister, Sandy Dietrich, told the Associated Press, we weren't close with them, we didn't know them. But look, again, even if they did, who cares? Like, again, people are allowed to have differences in political leanings within the same family, whether they're close or not close. And everything they've thrown at Walz so far did not stick. Walz's favorability rating is significantly higher than JD Vance's, who of course is the running mate for Donald Trump in the Republican ticket. As you can see here, JD Vance comes in at 36%, while Tim Walz comes in at 48%. Cenk.
Yeah, I hate this story. I hate the stories about these family members and stuff. So as Anna pointed out, yes, of course, different people in different families have different opinions. That's the most obvious thing in the world. But the part that again bothered me about Jeff Walz, when you saw that, he said, oh, he was getting feedback from friends and old acquaintances. So that's the pressure right there. You better be for Trump. And then he folded like a lawn chair to that pressure and sold out his brother to appease his like angry Trump friends that he has. Again, you should be super proud, Jeff. Anyways, but I'm done with it. Jeff Walz we've said our piece. Jeff Walz is a civilian. Just leave him alone from now on. He doesn't want to be involved in politics. Good, God bless. He can stop piling on his brother, and we can stop piling on him. Just be done with him. He's not in the game of politics and media. He's a random dude in the middle of Nebraska. So that's it. I'm done with Jeff Walz. Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below, because that makes you a member, and members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.